Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving right in and demystifying the incredibly complex, sometimes kind of chaotic, but absolutely wondrous emotional world of a child. And we're going to do it by building a structured visual map together. So if you've ever watched a child navigate a massive feeling and thought, what on earth is going on inside their head right now? Well, this one is for sure for you.
Section 1. The crucial moment. Picture this incredibly common, everyday, frustrating scenario. A child is sitting on the floor, super focused, building a tall tower out of wooden blocks. Suddenly, it wobbles, it crashes, and they completely freeze. You can see their hand raised, totally ready to sweep the surviving blocks straight across the room.
Okay, let's dive into this. The tower falls. What happens next? In this tiny, suspended moment, a bunch of completely different futures are literally right there on the table. Are they going to throw the blocks, walk away, ask for some help, take a deep breath, or maybe just start rebuilding?
Section 2. The emotional compass. So what actually determines the outcome of that crucial moment? Well, it turns out, the difference in the child's reaction isn't simply a matter of basic intelligence. No, it's about a guiding skill set.
And that skill set is emotional intelligence. We define this as the growing ability to understand emotion and choose what happens next. Think of it as a toolkit that helps a child recognize their feelings, figure out exactly why they're happening, regulate their reactions, respond appropriately to the people around them, and ultimately make constructive decisions. And hey, notice the word growing here. This absolutely isn't something they're just born with perfectly formed.
So the crucial point is emotional intelligence does not mean being calm all the time. Let's normalize this right now, okay? A highly emotionally intelligent child is still going to get upset. The goal here isn't some robot-like calmness. I mean, unless they are literally a robot. Instead, it means becoming way more skillful with the full range of human emotions, the good, the bad, the messy, and for sure, the loud ones.
To really understand how a child becomes skillful, we use this central visual metaphor, the emotional compass. It's got 5 distinct but deeply interconnected points. We're talking self-awareness, self-regulation, internal motivation, empathy, and relationship skills. When all 5 of these points are working together, it's like a giant puzzle clicking into place. A child finally has the tools they need to navigate their emotional landscape.
Section 3. Navigating the self. We are going to focus in on the first 3 internal points of this compass right now to really understand a child's inner world.
Take a look at this internal monologue right here. My chest feels tight, I am disappointed and embarrassed. Now that is self-awareness in action. A self-aware child can actually notice their physical and emotional state, and by simply naming the feeling, the child creates a little bit of mental distance from it. The emotion is still very real, obviously, but it's no longer this invisible, controlling force that's just dictating the moment.
And this brilliantly illustrates our second point, self-regulation, which, by the way, is completely different from emotional suppression. The child does not need to pretend that their disappointment about the block tower is magically gone. Regulation is all about managing the feeling, whereas suppression, well, that's just stuffing it down and hiding it away.
So how do they actually regulate? It usually happens in these 3 steps. First, they pause. They catch that raised hand right before it sweeps the blocks. Second, they breathe or physically move their body to release that built-up tension. And third, they choose a strategy. That might mean using their words or even just asking for a little physical space. These steps are absolutely crucial because they keep a strong feeling from turning into harmful behavior. The third internal point on our compass is internal motivation. It sounds a little something like this. I want to understand this. I can improve. I can try a different way. You see, children build real confidence when they put in the effort, see their own progress, and find meaning in what they do. It's a huge shift away from just working for external prizes or a sticker and moving toward a genuine internal drive to learn and bounce back from failure.
Section 4. EQ and IQ. Let's shift our focus a bit and examine how this emotional compass interacts with traditional intelligence. Let's move to and see how this builds, because it's incredibly common to wonder how EQ fits with the traditional intelligence, or IQ, that we're so used to prioritizing in schools and society. Here's the thing. Emotional intelligence does not replace traditional intelligence. They aren't competing with each other at all. Instead, EQ beautifully complements IQ. A child might have the raw intellectual brainpower to solve a super complex puzzle, but it's their emotional intelligence that actually gives them the frustration tolerance to keep trying when those puzzle pieces don't fit together perfectly the first time.
Section 5. Growing emotional skills. Let's bring this explanator home by focusing on the practical application. How do we actually calibrate this compass in everyday life?
First off, I really want to reassure you, EQ is completely learnable. These are everyday skills that get much stronger over time with the right support. But we also need to be realistic here. It does not guarantee success in life. There's no magic wand or quick fix. What it absolutely does do, though, is give a child a significantly better, vastly more resilient toolkit for handling whatever life decides to throw their way.
So how do we calibrate this toolkit? It boils down to modeling, practice, and supportive relationships. Kids learn by watching us, right? Remember that self-awareness step of naming feelings we talked about earlier? You can model that. When you're frustrated, you can literally say out loud, "I am feeling really frustrated right now. I need to take a deep breath." By doing this, and by offering a supportive environment for them to practice, you're providing the absolute safest training ground for their growing compass. I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. The next time the tower falls, and let's be real, it will fall, whether it's a literal stack of wooden blocks or just a metaphorical challenge in your own day, how will you model your own emotional compass? Because honestly, the most powerful way to help a child navigate their emotional world is simply to let them watch you skillfully navigate your own. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope you feel empowered to start building those skills today.